It was my first day off in forever, after a brutal week of night shifts at the warehouse. I figured I'd spend my one free morning doing something useful, so I dragged myself out to my folks' place to tackle their jungle of a yard. The grass was so high you could lose a dog in it, and the shed out back looked like it was drowning in vines. I wasn't thrilled, but I knew nobody else was going to deal with it. After that, I waded into their garage, which was leaking like a sieve every time it rained. Spent hours patching it up with whatever I could find, some tarp, a bit of sealant, my own sweat. Not once did anybody say thanks. I finally collapsed on the couch, beat, just wanting a second to breathe. That's when my dad, Hank, shoved his coffee mug across the table, gave me this look like I was something he scraped off his shoe, and said, "You're a dead end, Ethan. Still hanging around here, mooching off us like some lazy kid. I'm embarrassed you're my son. You'll never be anything." My mom, Linda, didn't even look up, just kept scrolling on her tablet, like I wasn't even there. I felt this heat rising in my chest, but I didn't say a word, just grabbed my jacket and walked out. For years later, my phone lit up with a flood of messages, 13 of them, all desperate, begging for help. If you told me last week I'd be spilling my guts online about my dad calling me a nobody, I'd have laughed and said, "No way, that ain't me." But here I am, needing to get this off my chest, cause I'm still wound up, and I don't want to bug my buddies again. This is half rant, half just me trying to make sense of it. Ever notice some small thing that just sticks with you? Like, I'm out there mowing, it's barely dawn, grass is sopping wet, sky's this dull gray, and my dad's just standing at the kitchen window. Not waving, not helping, just staring, arms folded, like he's betting I'll mess it up. I kept thinking, is he waiting for me to miss a patch so he can point it out? It's this thing he does, always has. Anyway, some background. I've been staying at my parents' place for a bit, not long, just enough to save some cash and get out. I work nights, so I'm hardly there, but when I am, I try to pitch in. Their house is a wreck, not like a reality show mess, but close. The yard's a disaster, the garage smells like mold, and there's always a puddle somewhere it shouldn't be. They're strapped for cash, and I'm not exactly swimming in it either, but I can mow, I can patch leaks, I can keep things from falling apart. So I do. I figured that's just what you do, right? But the vibe's always off. My mom's glued to her tablet, barely says 2 words. My dad, Hank, he's the type who's never satisfied, especially with me. He's got this story he loves, how he was the star of his family, worked hard, bought a house, did it all himself. Thinks I'm a letdown cause I'm not on his timeline, not climbing some ladder fast enough. He's always got that look, like he's waiting for me to fail so he can say, "Told you so." I ain't perfect, but I'm not a slacker. I pay rent, buy my own groceries, don't ask for a dime except a place to crash. I do more around that house than my brother ever did, but it's never enough for Hank. So that morning, my one day off after a week of hauling crates at the warehouse, I'm up at the crack of dawn, dragging the old mower out of the shed. The grass is so wet it's like wading through a swamp, and the blades keep clogging. I'm soaked, my boots are squelching, but I get it done. My dad, Hank, is already on my case before I even shut the thing off, pointing out a corner by the mailbox I didn't hit perfect. I'm like, "All right, I'll fix it later, just let me eat something." He mutters something and stomps off. I head inside, and my mom, Linda, is at the kitchen counter, eyes locked on her tablet, not even a nod. I grab a protein bar and head to the garage, cause I know it's leaking again. It's a mess in there, water pooling in the corners, old cardboard boxes turning to mush. I'm on my knees, patching it up with some duct tape and a tube of caulk I found in a drawer. Takes me a couple hours, my hands are numb, my back screaming, but I get it to where it's not a full-on flood anymore. I'm thinking maybe I'll finally get a chance to sit down, maybe even nap. I shuffle back to the living room, drop onto the couch, and my mom's in the kitchen, heating up some leftovers. She slides a plate onto the table without a word. My dad comes in, sits down, and there's this brief moment of quiet. Then he shoves his mug away, leans back, and just stares at me. It's not even angry, just this cold, disappointed look, like I'm a stray dog he's stuck with. He says, "You're still here, Ethan? Still dragging us down?" I'm too tired to even respond, just look at him, waiting. Then he lays into me, says I'm a dead end, a mooch, that he's ashamed I'm his son, that I'll never amount to nothing. My mom doesn't flinch, just keeps scrolling. It's not a fight, it's just him unloading, like I'm not even in the room. I say, "You want me gone?" "Fine." He just shrugs, like he couldn't care less. That's when it hits me, this ain't about the yard or the garage. It's about him needing to feel bigger by making me feel small. I stand up, and he brushes past me, nudging my shoulder like I'm in his way. That's it. I grab my jacket, my keys, and head for the door. My mom doesn't say a word. I hear my dad mutter something about how real men don't walk away. I slammed the door so hard the windows rattle. I didn't know where I was going, just started walking, my phone, wallet, and a half-dead charger in my pocket. I was done. I know some folks might think that's extreme, but I've been holding that place together for months, mowing, fixing leaks, paying what I could, and all I got was grief. My dad's always been like this, raised by a guy who thought yelling was parenting. He thinks if he's hard on me, I'll turn into some big shot. Never worked. Just made me want to get as far away as possible. I could have screamed, thrown something, but walking out felt better. Left them with their mess, their overgrown yard, their leaky garage. I texted my buddy, Mike, said I needed a place to crash. He didn't ask questions, just said come over. I wasn't going back, not for my stuff, not for nothing. That was my Saturday, some day off, huh? I'm done being their fix-it guy, done taking their crap. Next time they want the grass cut, they can push the mower themselves. After I walked out, I crashed at my buddy Mike's place. He's a good guy, doesn't pry, just handed me a beer and pointed to the couch. I showed up with nothing but a backpack and some clothes stuffed in a duffel bag. First few days, it felt weirdly good, like I could breathe without someone glaring at me for leaving a dish in the sink. I didn't tell my parents where I went, just turned off notifications for their texts. I wasn't ready to block them yet, but I wasn't answering either. I figured they'd sort themselves out, maybe hire someone to cut the grass or call a plumber for the garage. Boy, was I wrong. About a week later, I started getting these short messages from my dad, Hank. Stuff like, when you coming to grab your junk? Or, yard's a mess again. My mom, Linda, sent one about some mail I left behind. I ignored them all. I didn't owe them a reply, not after everything. Then my aunt, Clara, called out of nowhere. She's the family peacemaker, always trying to smooth things over. She goes, Ethan, your mom says you just took off. What's going on? I'm not picking sides, but your dad's struggling. Maybe you could swing by. I told her straight, I don't live there anymore. Not my problem. Felt kind of good to say it, honestly. I knew it'd get back to them. After that, I started pulling myself out of their mess for real. I'd set up a bunch of stuff for them, auto pay on the electric bill, the number for the guy who fixed the water heater, even the password for their Wi-Fi, cause my dad could never remember it. So, I went through and undid it all. Changed the Wi-Fi password to something random, took my name off the utilities, deleted my contact from the home repair apps. I even texted the neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, who sometimes picked up their packages, and told her to send any bills straight to my dad. It wasn't illegal, just me taking back what was mine. My parents started texting more, getting pushy. My dad left a voicemail, his voice all gruff, saying, you need to step up, Ethan. This house ain't gonna fix itself. You can't just ditch your family. My mom sent a message about the garage leaking again, like, can you just take a look? We don't know who else to call. I didn't bite. They wanted me to come back, act like nothing happened, and go right back to being their free handyman. Not happening. My dad's always had this thing about doing everything himself, like asking for help makes him less of a man. He loves telling stories about how he built his life from nothing, how his old man was even tougher on him. Thinks that's why he's so hard on me, like it's supposed to make me a better person. All it did was make me want out. My mom's no better. She just pretends problems don't exist until they're too big to ignore. That's why their house is falling apart. They just wait for someone else to handle it. A couple weeks in, Mike overheard from a neighbor that the yard was so bad the city sent a warning letter. I couldn't help but chuckle. My dad sent me an email, all caps, yelling about how I'm making them look bad in the neighborhood. I shot back. I don't live there. It's your house, your problem. You made it clear what you think of me, so deal with it. I copied Clara and Mike on it, just to keep things straight. He didn't like that. Came back with some nonsense about family loyalty and how I'm letting everyone down. I didn't reply. I'm done playing their game. They can figure out how to start the mower themselves. Things started getting messy after I cut myself loose from my parents' mess. I'm still crashing at Mike's, keeping my head down, working my shifts at the warehouse. My phone's quiet for a bit, and I think maybe my folks, Hank and Linda, finally got the hint. Nope. They just changed tactics. My dad starts leaving these long voicemails acting like he's all concerned. One goes, Ethan, you gotta come back and take responsibility. This house is falling apart, and you're just running away. My mom sends texts, all emotional, like, the garage is leaking again, and we can't afford a repair guy. Can you just come by? I don't respond. I know their game. They want me to swoop in, fix everything, and pretend my dad didn't call me a dead end. Not this time. Then the family gets involved. My cousin, Tim, who I haven't talked to in years, texts me out of the blue. He's like, yo, Ethan, what's up? Your parents are saying you bailed, and the house is a disaster. They're struggling, man. I just reply, they're adults. They'll figure it out. Then my Aunt Clara calls again, all soft and pleading. Ethan, I know your dad's tough, but the city's on them about the yard. Can't you help out just this once? I tell her, I'm done, Clara. I don't live there. She sighs, but I'm not budging. I start hearing from Mike that the neighbors are talking, yard's so bad it's like a jungle, and the city's threatening fines. I laugh, can't help it. My dad sends me this email, all formal, saying I'm neglecting my duties and making the family look bad. I fire back. I moved out. It's your property, not mine. You told me I'm a failure, so handle it. I copy Tim and Clara, just so there's no confusion. My dad replies, all huffy, saying I'm disrespecting him, embarrassing the family. I leave it unread. Then my mom tries a new angle. She calls, leaves a voicemail, voice all shaky, saying, Ethan, we can't pay the fines. The garage is flooding. Please, just come mow the lawn. I delete it. My dad starts telling everyone I'm the problem, like I'm some deadbeat who abandoned them. He even calls Mike, acting worried about my state of mind, then flips to ranting about how I left them high and dry. Mike just says, Ethan's fine. Talk to him yourself. My dad hangs up. I start making sure they can't pull me back in. I double-check every account I ever touched, cable, water bill, even the lawn service I'd set up for them once. I cancel my name off everything. I text Mrs. Jenkins, the neighbor, and say, if they say I'm still living there, it's a lie. She replies, yeah, your dad's been asking weird questions about you. I told him you're gone. Then I hear the city slapped a fine on them for the yard. My dad tries to blame me, tells the city I was supposed to maintain it. They just laugh and say, it's your house, sir. My mom texts Mike, asking if he'll come help with the garage. He says he's busy. My dad tries to get the kid down the street to mow, offers him cash, but the kid blows him off. Nobody wants to deal with Hank. He's got a reputation for being a jerk. I'm starting to feel this mix of relief and something else, not guilt. But like, what if the house really goes under? Then I remember all the times I fixed their stuff, paid their bills, and got nothing but grief. I'm done being their safety net. They made it clear they don't value me, so they can deal with the consequences. I ain't going back, no matter how much they beg. The drama just kept ramping up, like my family couldn't handle a day without some new crisis. I'm still at Mike's, working my warehouse shifts, trying to keep my life simple. But my parents, Hank and Linda, they're not letting go. My dad starts spreading stories to anyone who'll listen, saying I'm a deadbeat who ditched them, leaving their house to rot. My mom's playing the victim card, texting relatives about how I'm breaking her heart by not helping. I get a call from my cousin Tim, who's all, Ethan, your folks are saying the city's gonna fine them into the ground. Why can't you just mow the lawn one more time? I tell him, they made their bed, Tim. I'm not their janitor. He backs off, but then my Aunt Clara sends a long message, going on about family duty and how I'm making things worse by holding a grudge. I don't reply. I hear through Mike that the neighbors are gossiping, the yard's so bad it's practically a wildlife preserve, and the garage is leaking worse than ever. The city's not playing around. They've slapped another fine on my parents. My dad tries to pin it on me again, telling the city I was supposed to take care of it. They just shrug and hand him the paperwork. Then he emails me, all high and mighty, saying I'm legally obligated to fix the property since I live there. I laugh and shoot back. I don't live there. Hank, I'm not on any lease or deed. You called me a dead end, so figure it out. I copy Clara, Tim, and Mike, just to keep the record straight. He fires back, calling me ungrateful, saying I'm tearing the family apart. I don't even open the rest of it. My mom tries calling, leaves a voicemail, crying, Ethan, we can't afford this. The fines are piling up. Just come by, please. I delete it. Then my dad pulls a new stunt. He starts telling people I'm unstable, like I'm the one with issues. He even calls Mike again, acting all worried, but then rants about how I'm ruining their lives. Mike just says, talk to Ethan, not me, and hangs up. I make sure they can't drag me back in. I go through every old email, every text, and delete anything tying me to their house, repair contacts, bill logins, even the code for the garage door opener. I find an old key to their mailbox in Mike's junk drawer and toss it. I call the water company, make sure my name's off everything. I even tell Mrs. Jenkins, the neighbor, if they say I'm still there, it's not true. She says, your dad's been acting strange, asking if I've seen you. I told him you're long gone. The best part? I hear my dad's out there trying to mow the lawn himself, swearing up a storm, doing a terrible job. My mom's begging the neighbor's kid to fix the Wi-Fi cause she can't get her tablet to work. I can't lie, it feels good knowing they're stuck. They spent years treating me like dirt, expecting me to fix everything, and now they're scrambling. I don't feel bad, not even a little. They wanted to play tough, so I'm playing tougher. I'm not going back, not for a leaky pipe, not for a single blade of grass. They can deal with their own mess. It's been a few months since I walked out, and things are getting wild. My parents are in full panic mode, and it's like they've decided I'm their only lifeline. I'm still at Mike's, saving up, working my shifts, trying to build something for myself. My phone's been buzzing more than ever, texts, calls, even emails from people I haven't heard from in years. My dad, Hank, starts with these short, gruff messages, like, Ethan, we need to talk about the house. Call me. My mom, Linda, sends longer ones, all emotional. We're in trouble, Ethan. The city's threatening to take the house. Please help. Then it's my Aunt Clara, texting, your parents are falling apart. The fines are out of control. Can you do something? I don't answer any of them. I'm done being their fix-it guy. Then my cousin Tim forwards me a group chat where my dad's going off, saying I've abandoned my responsibilities and left them with a disaster. I reply to the group, laying it all out. I spent years fixing your leaks, mowing your lawn, paying bills when you couldn't. Never got a thank you, just got called a dead end. I'm done. Handle your own problems. I list every time I bailed them out, every early morning I spent keeping their house from collapsing, and how my dad just tore me down. I end with, don't ask me again. I'm out. My dad replies, calls me disrespectful, says I'm airing family business. Clara tries to play mediator, but I'm not having it. I hear from Mike that the city's not messing around. They've posted a notice on the house about the yard and the flooding. My dad tried to blame me again, but the city just told him to pay up. My mom calls, leaves a voicemail, sobbing, Ethan, we can't afford a plumber. The garage is ruined. Just come back one time. I delete it. Then my dad tries a new trick. He sends a letter, all official sounding, claiming I'm liable for damages since I neglected the property. I call the insurance company, make sure my name's nowhere near their policies. Turns out, there's an old claim from a pipe burst years ago where I was the contact. I tell them I don't live there. Take me off everything. They do. I text Mrs. Jenkins. If they try to say I'm responsible, it's a lie. She says, your dad's been telling everyone you're coming back to fix it. I told him you're gone for good. My parents start getting hit hard, fines piling up, neighbors complaining, even the homeowners association sending letters. My dad tries to hire a kid to mow, but nobody wants to deal with him. My mom's begging relatives for help, but they're all too busy. I don't feel guilty, not after years of being their doormat. My dad's always had this need to control everything, to never admit he's wrong. My mom just ignores problems until they explode. They thought I'd always be there to clean up their mess, but I'm not. I block their numbers, set their emails to go straight to spam. I'm not letting them pull me back in. They can figure out how to pay their fines or lose the house. I don't care anymore. For the first time, I'm free, and it feels damn good. For years later, I'm living my own life, far from my parents' chaos. I've got a small apartment, a steady job, and I'm even taking night classes to get a better gig. My old phone number's barely active, just tied to some bank stuff, but one morning, it blows up. 22 missed calls, texts, voicemails, all from my parents, Hank and Linda, plus cousins, aunts, even Mrs. Jenkins, the old neighbor. It's like they all got a memo to track me down. My dad's first text is calm, just, Ethan, we need to talk about the house. My mom's is desperate. Please call. It's urgent. Then it's Clara, saying the bank's foreclosing, the city's ready to seize the property, and my parents are drowning. There's a voicemail from my cousin Tim, saying, if you don't step up, the house is gone, and it'll be on you. I scroll through, piecing it together. The house is a wreck, roof's caving in, garage is flooded, taxes unpaid for years. My dad tried fixing it himself, made it worse. My mom ignored the bills until the bank sent a final notice. They're begging for help, thinking I'll ride in with a toolbox and a checkbook. I don't call back. I screenshot everything, save the voicemails, and block every number. I'm not falling for it. People might say that's cold, but after years of patching their house, paying their bills, and getting called a dead end, I'm done. My dad's always been about control, never admitting he needs help. He was raised by a guy who thought toughness was everything, so he passed that down to me, thinking it'd make me a real man. It just pushed me away. My mom's no better. She'd sit there, glued to her tablet, while he tore into me. Now they're acting like I'm their savior? Nah. I hear through Mike, who still talks to some neighbors, that the family's imploding. My dad's blaming my mom for the unpaid taxes. She's blaming him for not asking for help. Clara's blaming them both for pushing me away. Nobody's stepping up to fix it. They just want someone to point fingers at. I get a text from Tim, saying, you could at least help your mom. She's not like your dad. I remember all the times she sat silent while Hank called me a failure. I don't reply. I don't tell my friends about it right away. I'm too busy living my life. When I do, they laugh. One says, if you go back, they'll own you forever. Another says, you've done enough, man. Let him sink. They're right. The house gets foreclosed on. The city takes it, and my parents move to a cheap rental across town. I don't know the details, and I don't care. They never apologized, never owned up to how they treated me. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just a guy who chose himself. Some folks want a big showdown or a tearful reunion, but that's not how it works. The best way to win is to walk away and stay gone. If you're out there, thinking you owe your family everything just cause their blood, listen up. You don't. Sometimes, the only thing you owe is yourself a shot at peace. That's my story. I'm done, and I'm good with it.